My daughter candled my 68th birthday because her mother-in-law had a tantrum. That was how the night began. One message, one excuse, and a feeling I could not name settled into my chest like cold water. My name is Ellen Marwick. I am 68. I was standing at the kitchen counter, lighting the small candle on the little cake I had bought for myself. Nothing fancy, just something to mark the day. The phone buzzed once. I almost ignored it. Then I saw Caroline's name. Mom, we need to pause tonight. Evelyn. My mother-in-law is really upset about something in the family. I have to be with her. That was all. No happy birthday, no apology, no promise to make it up to me. Just her mother-in-law's sisters pushed ahead of my 68 years on this earth. I read the message twice, then a third time. My chest tightened. My hands hovered over the keyboard. Beauty couldn't type a word. Not anymore. Not. The candle kept burning, a thin line of smoke rising when the wax touched the wick. I watched it melt until the flame went out on its own. The kitchen was quiet except for the old clock tapping against the wall, steady and indifferent. I put the phone down, face down, the way you do when you don't want anything else to arrive. This was not the first time Caroline had chosen Evelyn over me, but something in timing on this day and this way knocked something loose inside me. No anger, not even sadness, more like a thread finally snapping after being pulled for decades. I sat down at the table, hands folded, letting the silence epson, and as it settled, I realized that he was no longer waiting for her to show up. I was thinking about what I needed to do next. That thought stayed with me long after the candle went cold, carrying me into the morning that would change far more than a birthday. I didn't grow into this silence overnight. It took decades. I spent more than 30 years working at St. Joseph Medical Center. Long shifts, double shifts. Nights when I came home so tired my legs hook on the stairs. Caroline grew up with the smell of hospital soap on my claws and the sound of my keys hitting the counter at dawn. I raised her after the divorce, telling myself that love and stability could cover the cracks left behind. Back then, she clung to me. She'd sit at the kitchen table doing homework, while I packed lunch. As for the week, you're the strongest person I know, she'd say, drawing her little pictures of us with matching smiles. I kept those drawings for years. When Evelyn entered her life, the tone shifted slowly. Not all at once. That is how influence works. It creeps like ivy. The first time I met her, she smiled too wide. You've done the best you could, Ellen, she said, looking around my living room like she was grading it. Caroline didn't notice a sting in her voice. Or maybe she chose not to as Caroline got older. The comments harpened. Mom, Evelyn says I should try this college instead. Mom, Evelyn thinks he benefit from living with them for a while. Mommy, Evelyn offered to take care of the wedding planning. She has higher standards. Evelyn's words echoed for years. A reminder that measured Caroline and me against her own version of perfection. I tried to speak up once. Caroline, I think you're drifting from the things that matter. She looked at me like I'd spoken in another language. Mom, don't start. Evelyn helps me. You're overthinking. After that, I learned to swallow my words. Each time Caroline deferred to Evelyn, my influence slipped further away year by year, and it kept slipping year after year until the night second on my birthday, and finally pushed me out of the picture she'd been redrawing without me. I heated my dinner in the microwave and listened to the soft hum fill the kitchen. It was the only sound in the house. When the timer beeped, I set the plate down at the table where I placed the forks. Out of habit, it moved one aside while I ate. Memories Preston. Caroline at 7 running down the hallway with a handmade card. Caroline at 15 whispering her wish list while I pretended not to worry about money. Caroline at 28. Standing in a white dress I'd ironed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Beckhouse. Evelyn insisted on last-minute corrections from the bridal shop back then. She looked at me like I was part of her world. My phone buzzed once. Afternoon from her. Evelyn wrapped in a blanket at their house. Caroline's caption reading, taking care of family tonight. I put the phone face down without opening the rest. I finished eating, washed my plate, and dried my hands slowly. The quiet didn't hurt the way I expected. It felt like the calm before your reckoning I had finally chosen. It just felt final. Like a door I'd forgotten to close had drifted shut on its own. I walked to the small hall closet and opened it. Inside were Caroline's old boxes stacked from years ago. Untouched and waiting, a thought settled into me, calm and steady. It wastes time to clear the space she'd already abandoned. I carried the first box to the kitchen table and set it down gently. The cardboard was soft at the edges from years of being ignored. I opened it and found Caroline's high school sweatshirt folded the way I'd done it when she left for college. I touched the fabric with my thumb. "You love this one," I murmured. Though she wasn't there to hear it, I started packing slowly, one item at a time. A stack of old notebooks, the ceramic mug she painted at 9, a framed photo of use at Point Defiance. Her smile wide, mine, tired but proud. I wrapped it in a dish towel before lowering it into the box around the third box. I felt my chest tighten, not from sorrow, more from the weight of knowing how much I'd held onto for her. I sat back for a moment. The phone buzzed on the counter. A message from Caroline. "Mom, please understand, Evelyn really needed me tonight." No mention of my birthday. No acknowledgement of the day she'd dismissed. I placed the phone aside without responding. When the boxes were full, I taped each one shut with slow, even strokes. The sound echoed in the quiet house. It carried them to the front porch, stacking them neatly by the door, where she'd always dropped her bags when she needed something. I wrote a small note and taped it to the top box. "Take these when you can. This house isn't your fallback anymore." My hands shook a little when I stepped back, but the feeling underneath was steady. I didn't slam any doors. I didn't cry. I just made space finally for myself. When I closed the door behind me, the house felt lighter, and so did I. 3 days passed before Caroline noticed the boxes on my porch. She called while I was making tea, her voice sharp with confusion. "Mom, why air me things outside? You could have waited." "I thought you didn't have time for me," I said gently. "I wanted to make it simple for you when you finally noticed." She went quiet, then exhaled hard. "I've had a rough week. Evelyn's been difficult." That part didn't surprise me. By the end of the week, the cracks showed up in small, predictable ways. She called again late in the evening. "Mom, do you know where Emma's immunization card is? I can't find it anywhere." "You packed it last spring," I said. "You told me not to keep Capice anymore." Caroline muttered something under her breath, frustration building. "Well, now the daycare won't take her tomorrow." I didn't offer to come over. I didn't offer to fix it. The next morning, Damon called. His tone was brittle. "Ellen, did you remind Caroline about the car payment? It's overdue." I kept my voice steady. "That's between the two of you. I don't manage those things anymore." He sighed. The sound edged with blame. "She's stressed. Everything's chaotic. I'm sure you'll sort it out." On Sunday, Evelyn's voice came through my phone uninvited. "You've left Caroline in a mess," she snapped. "She's overwhelmed." I held the phone away from my ear for a moment. "She's an adult," I said. "She'll adjust," Evelyn scoffed. "She wouldn't struggle if you stepped up the way a mother should." The meth engine inside me cooled. I stepped up for decades. "She'll manage." There was no answer. Just a sharp click as she hung up. By the end of the week, none of them called again. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was the tension settling after Ellen refused to step back into her old role. Caroline called it that afternoon, her voice thin. "Mom, we're having Sunday dinner at Evelyn's. Can you come?" she said. "It's important." I heard the strain underneath. I also heard the hesitation. "I won't go," I said. "But you can tell what happens after." She did a targ. That alone told me something was shifting. Later that night, my phone rang again. This time, shaky, rushed up. "Mom, can you just stay on the line? I'm walking in." I stayed silent, letting her breathe through whatever storm she was stepping into. I heard Evelyn first. "You're late again." Caroline tried to steady her voice. "Emma was sick this morning. I had to." "You always have an excuse," Evelyn cut in. "A real mother learns to manage her time." Damon's voice drifted in, low, tired. "Let's just sit down." Caroline pulled out a chair. The scrape echoed through the phone. "I'm doing my best." "Your best?" Evelyn laughed softly. "Your mother's hold have taught you resilience. She babied you too much." Caroline's breath caught. I felt it even through the line. "Don't talk about my mom," she said quietly. "Oh? Please." Evelyn waved off. Ellen left you drowning this week. A proper mother wouldn't abandon her child. Caroline's voice cracked. Shouldn't abandon me. I pushed her away for a moment. No one spoke. Then Evelyn leaned in closer. I could hear thickened ascension dripping from her tone. You're emotional. Go wash your face before dinner. Something inside Carolina snapped. No, she said. Stop telling me you had to do. Stop treating me like I'm failing you. I'm tired, Evelyn. I'm tired of trying to be enough for you. Damon whispered. Caroline, calm down. She turned on him. You never sigh anything. You sit there and let her tear him apart. Evelyn's chair scraped back. I'm only trying to guide you. Someone I had to. And I stepped in. Not you, Caroline said. Not anymore. Her breathing shook through the line. Mom, I need to go. The call ended abruptly. Eyes at her holding the phone, knowing something had finally cracked, not just in her perfect life, but in the pedestal she built for the wrong woman. It was close to 9 at night when someone knocked 3 quick hits. One shaky one. I knew the pattern. I opened the door slowly. Caroline stood there, eyes red, mascara smudged. Her voice broke on the first word. Mom, can I come in? I stepped aside. She walked to the kitchen table, the same spot where I'd sat alone on my birthday. She didn't speak at first. She just pressed her palms to her face and cried quietly. When she finally looked up, her voice was raw. I can't do this no more. I thought I could handle it all alone. But I'm drowning, she admitted, arriving unannounced because she didn't know who else to turn to. I pulled out a chair across from her. Sit, tell me what happened. She wiped her nose with the back of her hand. Evelyn said, I'm at his appointment. Damon didn't defend me. Emma threw up twice today. I forgot the insert answering wool. I can't find anything. I'm failing. You're overwhelmed, I said. I'm falling apart, she replied. I US'll call you for everything and you always fixed it. I didn't even see it. She let out a long shaking breath. I'm so sorry, Mom. The words landed heavy. I'd waited years to hear them. But they each didn't disappear. I folded my hands together. I love you. That's never changed. But I can't step back into the same role. I won't carry your whole liffey on my shoulders again. Her throat tightened. I'm not asking you to fix everything. I just need to know you're here. I'm here, I said. But I'm not your safety net. I'll guide you. I won't run your life, Caroline nodded slowly. I'll try. I want to do better. I want to stand on my own. For the first time in years, her voice wasn't defensive or dismissive. It was honest. She reached head across the table and took my hand. Can you help me figure out where to start? I squeezed her fingers lightly. We'll take it one step at a time, but you'll take the steps. Not me. She let out a trembling breath. Half relief, half her. I think I'm ready, she whispered. I hope she was. Caroline showed up the next morning. Not to collapse again, Budo update me. Her posture was different, still tired, but steadier. I called that I care first thing, she said, sitting across from me. They needed Emma's immunization record. I found it in the wrong folder and brought it in myself. That's good, I said. She nodded, fingers tapping the table. And I told Damon Hayhas to take over the car payments and the insurance renewal. I've carried all off it for years. He didn't argue this time. What did he say? I asked. He said he didn't realize how much I was juggling. She let out a breath. I didn't realize it either. There was a pause, Aquia 1. Then she said, I booked a therapy session. The earliest they had was tomorrow. I'm going, a part of me softened, not because she wanted me approval, but because she didn't seem to need it. She was choosing responsibility, not handing it to me to rearrange. She looked around my kitchen at the counters I'd wiped thousands of times for her growing up years. I don't want to end up like last week again. She said, you don't deserve that. Emma doesn't deserve a burnt-out mom, and I didn't deserve to live like someone always waiting to fail. I didn't rush to hug her. I didn't fix anything. I just said, keep going one step at a time. She stood, adjusting her bag on her shoulder. I will, and I'll call you after the session. Not because I need you to solve it, just because I want you to know I'm trying. I watched her walk out the door with a steadiness she hadn't had in years. Real change was slow, but for the first time, she was moving under her own weight. Carolina called in the late afternoon, her voice tight. She wants a meeting. All of us. I didn't agree yet. She who I asked. Though I already knew. Evelyn, she said. This family is falling apart because you stepped back. I kept my tone even. And what do you think? There was a long exhale. I think she's scared she's losing control. That evening, Carolina came by, and Damon followed a few minutes later. They looked worn, beauty-lined in a way I hadn't seen before. The knock came next, sharp, impatient. Evelyn didn't wait for an invitation before stepping inside. She pointed at me first. You started this. Caroline has been a mess ever since you decided to detach yourself. Caroline stepped in front of me. No. I've been a mess because I let you run me life. Evelyn's face tightened. Excuse me, you heard me, Caroline said. You've equitized every choice I've made. You put me against my own mother for years. I'm done. Damon moved beside his wife. Too. You've crossed too many lines. Evelyn's eyes snapped to him, stunned. You're siding with her. I'm siding with her family. He said. Caroline's trying. You haven't helped. Evelyn turned back to me, desperate for someone to blame. You taught her to disrespect me. I didn't move. I taught her to stand on her own. Caroline took my hand. Mom didn't take anything from you. You took everything from me. For the first time, Evelyn stepped back, not out of politeness, but because the room no longer revolved around her. She left without another word. The silence she left behind wasn't empty. It was a beginning. Caroline moved into her new rental 2 blocks from my house on a windy Thursday morning. She stood in mid-doorway after the movers left, brushing hair from her face. I want to start over, she said. Not by leaning on you, but by being near you. After seeing what happened last week, I realized I need guidance, not rescue. I nodded. Near's fine. Dependent, isn't I know, she said, voice steady. That's why I'm here. That evening, she came back with a small bag of groceries. I thought maybe we could cook together like we used to. It had been more than 10 years since she was getting that. I pushed my sleeves up. You cut the vegetables. I'll do the rest. She lied softly. Deal. As we cooked, she talked slowly at first. Then with that kind of honesty I'd stopped expecting from her. I thought Evelyn protected me, she said, slicing carrots. I thought she saw the strong version of me. But she only saw what she could control. It stirred the pot. You wanted someone to tell you you weren't alone. And you were the one doing that the whole time. She said. I just didn't want to see it. We sat down at the table with simple bowls of soup. She took a breath. I don't want you to fix my life. I want you in it. I can be in your life, I said, but not as a person who carries it. She reached across the table, fingers trembling. Not what I'm asking. I want you to be my mom, not my rescuer. Theron felt softer somehow, not because off light, but because the weight between us finally shifted. She was not pulling on me. She was meeting me. I like this version of you, I said. I like her, too, she whispered. After dinner, she washed the dishes without me asking. When she left, she hugged me with both arms the way she used to when she was little. Thank you for giving me space to grow, she said. Thank you for choosing to grow, I replied. When the door closed, I stood there for a long moment, letting the quiet settle. It felt different than the silence of my birthday. This one wasn't empty. It was earned, and if you want to hear more stories of women reclaiming their power, their voice, and their worth, don't forget to like, leave a comment, or subscribe. I have more to tell because since a woman learns her worth at 68, what future can truly be denied to?